has serious school project energy, but when you use it the right way, it gives major Pottery Barn vibes. I've been using simple Dollar Tree foam board to create faux cabinet details, oversized art, linen wall panels, and even custom built-in upgrades. And today I'm sharing exactly how I did it and how you can recreate these in your own home. If you love affordable DIY decor that actually looks designer, this is for you. Over the last couple months, I've been slowly transforming my craft room and home office into a calmer, more cohesive space. Not this wall behind me, but the one opposite of me. Before, it felt too dark, too many visual breaks, too many exposed surfaces, too much stuff showing. My shorter IKEA Billy bookcases with the height extensions especially bothered me. The metal hardware showed, the open shelving felt busy, my eye never had a place to rest. I didn't want to replace perfectly good furniture, I just wanted cleaner lines. And that is where the Dollar Tree foam board came in and is my secret weapon. Before we get started, let's just talk about the tools that I'm going to be using for cutting foam board. This is just a scrap piece. So I've got a Cricut scoring tool. You can also get an off-brand version of that. And I have a Cricut X-Acto or utility knife. I love this brand. You can get the one that comes with extra blades. Totally worth the value. I'll link it in my description. And I have a self-healing cutting mat. I have a huge one that's meant for quilting. I use it all the time for everything and had it for years. Cutting through foam board, you're going to want to score a line. You could use a ruler, but I would totally recommend you use something with a straight edge or even a level so that you could see exactly how level it is. And you're going to start by doing one simple scoring line, and then to get the perfect cut, you're going to just lightly press on that foam board. And you're not going to do a deep cut yet. You're going to just see how light that is, very light. And then you're going to do it a second time. You'll just go a little bit deeper, but you're still not cutting it all the way through. And then now you can see where that is. And then the next one, you'll do a third, a little bit deeper. So you can see it's almost finished. And then this last one, you should go all the way through the paper on the back side. So you can see I'm already going through and it is catching a little bit. So maybe just flip it over and do that side. So you can see where it caught there, that paper piece, but we can just take that off and you can see the clean edge that you have there when you use a nice sharp blade and you take your time cutting through it. So I have my foam board ready to go, and I picked up this piece of wood strip from Dollar Tree because this is the exact width that I want to make my strips. So I'm going to start on one edge and I'm just going to score it all the way down. I'm going to take just very lightly, you can see the line here, very lightly cut into that score line. This will make sure that you have a nice, take your time doing this, because otherwise if you cut too deep in, then that's when you get all of the little frayed edges. We want it to have a nice clean edge. All right, so I'm just going to carefully remove some of the little pieces that might be stuck there, but overall it's a very clean edge there. And I'm just going to repeat that and do one more strip. So there's the second strip. Did have a couple more pieces hanging off from there that I wanted, so we're just going to clean that up a bit. We're going to cut a wider piece. So the area that I'm going to be placing this is 4 3/4. I'm going to make sure this is nice and flat. Or you could use a level if you wanted to be 100% sure that your lines are perfectly straight. That, again, we're just going to take our time cutting through. All right, now that I have all the pieces cut, I'm going to glue them all together. And the last piece. I'm just trying to make sure all of the edges here are lined up. And I'm using the glue to kind of fill in this little crack here where the pieces meet. Now to finish it off, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the inside here. It kind of gives it the appearance of caulk without using caulk. Now I'm going to let this completely dry before I move to the next step. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over, somewhat dry. I'm going to measure 9 inches. Actually, I want it to be in the center. So we're going to place a knob right here. And I'm going to measure 9 inches from this side. Right here. So I'm just going to make the tiniest drill hole just so I could see where this is going in the back. Here we go. And I cut 2 small pieces of foam here just to act as a backer, which I'm going to glue. And I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so those little backing pieces are dried now, and I'm going to attempt to attach some knobs to this. So I've got it on a low setting, and I'm just carefully drilling through to create a hole. Okay. And then let's see. Carefully drill this knob into place. I don't want to drill it too far in because it's foam board. Okay, that's good. Perfect. And I really like this. I almost want to make this in real wood. Now for the drawer part, I've got a piece of foam board and I've got 3 smaller pieces, the same height as the actual drawer front, and I'm just going to glue them in place here. And I added a supporting piece in the back here. I'm just going to be using my tacky glue, which means it will need time to dry. So there is the entire drawer piece, and I'm just going to place the shelf that came from IKEA on top of it. There we go. Now I have a foam board shelf with a faux door. Now it's still not dry, so we could just leave it. And I can hide craft supplies that I don't use very often in here. And finally, I'm just going to place the drawer front right inside of there. Now, nothing is holding this into place except for the shelf and the base. So if I ever want to open it, I will need to lift up this shelf a little bit in order for this to pull down. I also looked up the paint color to paint this to match the IKEA cabinet is called parchment paper from Glidden at Home Depot. And if you are going to paint yours, which I do plan to do, I just didn't have time during this video, I would just do a light coat because you don't want the paper to get saturated with paint. Very lightly coat it to match. Adding that foam board panel with the trim and the matching knobs gave the illusion of a cabinetry instead of a shelving. It visually balanced the lower cabinet doors and made the entire unit feel intentional. So I have an old frame, it's huge. My husband made this frame. And so I already painted it white. It's actually double-sided. So let me just show you really quickly. I've got a decal on the back of it. But I decided I wanted some fun modern watercolor. Sorry, my dog keeps whining in the background. And I've already attached a piece of foam board. And I'm going to be using 3 colors. I think I'm going to just leave the top white. All right, I got to go attend to the dog. So I don't want to overdo it with the paint on here because I know it's paper. So I'm just going to be very careful about not putting too much paint on the surface. And so I'm starting with this darker color. I'm basically just going to do a modern ombre type of image, type of painting. I would just dump this whole bottle on here, but it's paper, so I gotta be careful not to put too much paint on the surface. Let's see, just then I think I put too much right there. Let's try to get a rag. I'm just gonna get a rag because I don't want it to be too much paint. This is what I have so far. Okay, now I'm going to blend in the next color. All right, I have one more color I'm gonna do. Might as well do some white over this and blend it all in. So it doesn't look so stark, you know what I mean? Now I'm just gonna do a very light layer of Mod Podge over it. This is gonna give it This is a matte, but if you do a gloss, it'll give it a nice glossy finish. The wall above my desk needed something oversized, but I didn't want to spend hundreds on large-scale art. Foam board allowed me to experiment with scale. Painting a neutral abstract gave the space movement while keeping the calming palette intact. Large art equals instant high-end feel. I just had to throw this project idea in there too. I wrapped some linen fabric around a piece of foam board and I just hot glued it all together in the back, and I used that instead of the little drawer. I need your opinion. Option A, the linen wrapped panel, or option B, the faux drawer detail. Both solve the visual clutter, but they give a very different energy. You have to pick one. Comment A or B below. I'm genuinely curious which direction you choose. And if one clearly wins, I'll do a deeper tutorial on that version next. I've been wanting to do this for a while in our little den sitting area, but I've got a 6 foot by 9 foot drop cloth, and I'm gonna go wash this and dry it. And then I've got 4 foam boards. I have a few jumbo popsicle sticks, and I'm gonna be using these to glue the 2 foam boards together. I'm using a little bit of hot glue to speed up the process. And I'm just going to place the canvas drop cloth right on top. Smooth it out. And I've got my handy clothespins. I'm going to use them to attach that way I can keep this nice and tight before I attach it on the back side. All right, let me just show you. This is what it looks like on the other side. And I'm going to start gluing it in place. All right, now that that's done, I just need to attach the frame to it. All right, so I've already measured the bottom and the top to make sure that there's enough space on each side. So it's, and then this is my artwork that I'm going to be attaching. And for now, I'm just going to add 2 dabs of glue so it doesn't fall out of place. Putting some hot glue on each corner. And then I'm going to carefully flip it over. And I'm starting by drilling screws into the corners. Because I use hot glue, I actually only did a screw here and a screw in this upper corner, so opposite each other. And I think it's holding up pretty well. Now the trick is how to hang this. So I might want to install a backer right here into the back of the wood and the foam board. All right, so I've got a sawtooth hanger with some nails. I wanted the artwork above the sofa to look cohesive and grounded instead of floating on a dark wall. Adding that linen wrapped foam board panels behind the frames gave them structure and uniformity. It made the art feel curated rather than randomly hung. This project was all about creating visual consistency. In order to paint this, the first thing you need to do is use some Mod Podge on top of it. It's going to be a matte surface so that the paint can stick to it. Is a piece of foam board that I cut to size. I am going to be making some panels to insert on my glass cabinet doors. I've been wanting to cover these forever, and I'm finally getting around to it with this DIY. So I've laid out this piece, and I'm just going to glue it to the foam board. And I'm actually just going to be using regular old tacky glue. And I'm just going to use clothespins to attach it for now. This is still really sticky. I might have to put like some type of top coat on it, like a clear spray coat, so it doesn't continue to be so sticky. And then we're just going to do the bottom piece next. And I'm just going to repeat that one more time because I have two cabinets that I'm doing this for. Using foam board with that fake cane look instantly lightened the piece and gave it that designer airy look that you see in high-end stores. This was about adding softness and dimension without replacing anything. Here's what I learned from all of this. Foam board isn't the decor, it's the foundation. When you add trim, fabric, texture, paint, or framing, it stops looking like a craft supply and starts looking architectural. And that's what changed this space. Not new furniture, not a renovation, just cleaner lines and better surfaces. So if you're looking at a space that feels busy or overwhelming, try simplifying the surfaces first. Add panels, add texture, add structure, not more stuff. And if you love turning Dollar Tree into designer, make sure you're subscribed because we are not done experimenting yet. And don't forget to let me know A or B for that panel on my bookcase. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.